Welcome to the short tour of DLES-100/101, Distance Learning Preparedness course. This is a course that is a requirement for all distance learning students at Mott Community College to be successful in prior to being able to register for classes. We'll go through a brief journey through this course shell and see what their learning experience is. This course has been updated more over time. However, you'll see some odd dates in here, and this is for your viewing pleasure because I normally set these shells up in advance, and the announcements would not show because, of course, they're not released yet. So to start off with, we welcome our students with announcements, and it's a basic announcement saying what the class is, where they can start, how they can communicate with the instructor, and most importantly, when everything is due. There will be no exception for late assignments, and gives me a link to click on. The next one down is the recommended browser for Blackboard. We do run into many students that even with this in red bold still miss that, and unfortunately it does affect their success late in the game. So for this term we're making it even bigger. Hopefully that'll stand out. Alright, we'll click on One Start here, just like the students will. And here it's a welcome message again. They have a course checklist that they download, and the course checklist allows them to view every activity that they're going to be doing within this course, and just merely check it off. Put this within your view. Okay, so we tell them which items just require them to open and read, then the other ones where they actually have to do something. So by area, we give them things to check off, and then exactly what it is that they need to do to be successful in that unit. And all the way down. This enables students to track how far they are in the class, and of course, if they are being successful. Course information, this is basic syllabus information really. One thing that we do make sure that they're aware of is that instructors are not available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Online learning is asynchronous. This is where we're really trying to manage expectations because there are students that will work at 3 in the morning, send an email, and wonder why they didn't get a response 5 minutes later. So we try to handle that a little bit here. How they're graded, and then of course instructor contact information. I put in course links so they can continue to the next area, successful learners, or they can access from the normal navigation bar. In this area you can see everything is broken up into little bits of information. So you can click on Myths About Online Learning, read that area, continue on to the next, and so on and so forth. They can understand their learning style, and this will take them to an outside website. So, learning about learning styles in that scenario. So they go through, do that, and then becoming successful learner quiz. They can take their quiz right in here, and we give them their results immediately. So they can answer the questions and move on. We require an overall score of 80% for them to be successful in the class. If they do not earn that, they get a U, and they have the option of taking the course again. So computer essentials, we go over hardware and software, how to actually download a file, if there's any plugins needed. Some basic computer skills, so how do you cut, copy, and paste, manage files. Very basics, and we even include videos to show them how to do these tasks. So they have many resources available to them. They have a computer essentials quiz, and they go to email. And then here, accessing email, reading messages. It all works the same. So for this one, to read messages, we go through there and actually show them how to use the school email system. We have a quiz, and then we start getting into assessments. So for this assessment, they have to download a document, which proves that they're able to download a resource. They have to add their name to the document, so they have to modify, save it, attach it to an email, and send it to the instructor. This is where instructor intervention is required, but the student can continue on in the class. There is no stop point in this class. If they want to log in and complete the class in the middle of the night, they can, and the instructor comes in and grades things in the morning. This is one of the gradable assignments. Most are self-grading quizzes within the course. So using Blackboard, we go over the basics, how to access, which by the time they're in this class, we certainly hope they can access Blackboard. We learned that some don't know how to enter their course. The only way that they've learned how to enter a course is by clicking on the announcements. If their instructor doesn't use announcements, they don't know how to find the course. So we did find that important. How to navigate around, how to use a discussion board, and then if there are any common problems, what is it that they can do to resolve them. They take a Blackboard quiz, and then they have to introduce themselves in the Blackboard discussion board. So this is where they have they have to create a new thread, post an attachment, and respond to a peer. So they certainly are proving that they can navigate the discussion board. Web browsers is next, and this gives them some information about the terminology behind web browsers. How do you hyperlink or bookmark a page? What is a hyperlink? What if a page isn't updating as you're expecting? Learning about cache and how to clear that out. Of course, we have a quiz like we do with every other unit. And then for this one, we do a web browser assessment, and this validates that they can use the internet. So they have to go out on the web, use a search engine, and we don't care which one they use or what browser they use for this assessment, regarding learning styles, search engines, or web browsers. Create a new thread and post the URLs to it. So they have to prove that they can actually post URLs there. So we're getting our internet searches out of it, and we're getting more discussion board activity. This is graded by the instructor, but of course they can continue on without any response. Plagiarism, this is one where they don't do very well because, well, a lot of it's new material to them, and they assume that they can go back and just take the quiz and do great on it. When I get comments about the course, they'll mention that this is where they learned the most out of the class, or at least the technically savvy students learned the most in this scenario. Netiquette. So what is netiquette? So we're trying to give them, tips for effective communication online, and how to communicate, how to not use the LOL or whatever the other quick items are when communicating, and how to be professional within their communications. We also try to remind them that there is a permanent record of what they're doing. Course completion. For this, they hit this point, and they reminds them to review the checklist. They have to send the instructor an email verifying they've completed the course, and they're notified of whether they passed or failed the course. If students do this in advance, as in not working at 11:58 the night that the class closes, this gives us an opportunity to let the student know that they weren't successful in the course because they forgot to take an assessment. That's usually the item. They're rushing through it and they don't take an assessment or something of that nature, which of course significantly hurts their grade. And it gives them an opportunity to go back. If they do something incorrectly, the same situation. We can explain to them, you didn't post the discussion board correctly, this is what you can do, and they can go back and actually fix it. So the goal is for them to be successful. Unfortunately, there are some where they wait till the last minute and they're not able to benefit from those comments because the course is closed and the deadline is passed. We go to discussion board, we can see there are a couple boards. Here we even remind them of what the assignments are, and they just click in the forum and create their thread just like they would in any other course. They have their grade center right there in Blackboard, so they're able to see their grades as they progress. With an instructor access, I can't show you that though. And that concludes the demonstration on Distance Learning Preparedness, DLES 101.